Shaw Prize has now been formally established and work has begun.
Tonight, at this first ceremony, we are here to witness the beginning of the annual award of Shaw Prizes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Shaw Prize Award Presentation Ceremony 2023 at the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center. I'm Astrid Chen, your presenter tonight.
And I'm Leon Ko. Thank you all for joining us tonight. It is with great joy and excitement that we gather here for this long-awaited celebration. After a 3-year hiatus forced upon us by the pandemic, we reunite to honor the distinguished achievements of the 2023 Shaw Laureates, as well as laureates from 2020 to 2022.
This evening holds an even more special significance as we celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Shaw Prize. The prize, established under the auspices of Mr. Raymond Shaw in 2002 and presented its inaugural awards in 2004,
over the last 2 decades, the prize has recognized and celebrated the exceptional contributions of over 100 brilliant minds in the field of astronomy, life science and medicine, and mathematical sciences.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to welcome our officiating guest, the Honorable John K.C. Lee, Chief Executive of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region of the People's Republic of China. Mr. Lee, please.
We now invite the Shaw Laureates to enter the presentation hall. First, please welcome the Shaw Laureates in Astronomy 2023. Professor Matthew Bales, Professor Duncan Lorimer, and Professor Maura McLaughlin.
We now welcome the Shaw Laureates in Life Science and Medicine 2023. Professor Patrick Cramer and Professor Eva Nogales.
Following, let's welcome the Shaw Laureates in Mathematical Sciences 2023. Professor Valdimir Drinfeld and Professor Shing-Tung Yao.
We now invite your applause for the Shaw Laureates from 2020 to 2022. First are the Shaw Laureates in Astronomy. Professor Roger D. Blanford for the prize in 2020. The prize in 2021. Professor Victoria M. Caspi and Professor Krisa Covilio-Tu. And the prize in 2022. Professor Leonard Lindgren and Professor Michael Perriman.
Moving on are the Shaw Laureates in Life Science and Medicine. The prize in 2020, Professor Gero Niesender, Professor Peter Hegemann, and Professor Georg Nagel. The prize in 2022, Dr. Paul A. Negulescu, and Professor Michael J. Welch.
Last but not least, let's welcome the Shaw Laureates in Mathematical Sciences. The prize in 2021. Professor Jeff Cheeger, Professor Jean-Michel Bismuth, and the prize in 2022, Professor Nogales and Professor Hushovsky.
The Honorable John Casey Lee, Shaw Laureates and distinguished guests. A warm welcome again to the Shaw Prize Award Presentation Ceremony 2023.
To commence this momentous occasion, it is with immense pleasure that we invite Dr. Raymond Chan, Chair of the Shaw Prize Foundation, to deliver the welcome speech.
Welcome to the 20th anniversary of the Shaw Prize Award Presentation Ceremony. We are so happy to see both old and new friends after these few years. Many of you are familiar with our late founders, Mr. and Mrs. Run Shaw, and the legendary film and television empire that they built. Following their outstanding success over many decades, they developed a strong desire to give back to society. The foundation has always gone above and beyond to foster international collaboration with a focus on scientific and medical research. Our gathering today is a testament to the dedication and commitment of Mr. and Mrs. Shaw. We are humbled to carry on their legacy. The world is facing many great challenges. We hope the Shaw Prize can do its part to make it a better place and to inspire others to contribute. As we celebrate our 20th anniversary, we feel as though we are just getting started. Thank you.
Please join us in extending a warm round of applause as we welcome the Honorable John Casey Lee, the Chief Executive of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, PRC, to deliver his speech. Mr. Lee, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you all. It's my great pleasure to take part in this year's Shaw Prize ceremony. A great pleasure to welcome all of you here in Hong Kong. The Shaw Prize was set up more than 2 decades ago by the late Sir Run Shaw. Hong Kong is proud to be home to this prestigious international award, which many consider to be the Nobel Prize of the East. With the support of the National 14th Five-Year Plan, Hong Kong is determined to develop into an international innovation and technology center. My congratulations once again to all Shaw Prize winners for your inspired breakthroughs. Congratulations also to the Shaw Prize Foundation for your untiring efforts to keep the founders' great vision going and for making this wonderful award scheme truly international. I wish you all the best in the world of science and here in Hong Kong. Thank you very much.
It is with great pleasure that we now invite the chairs of the selection committees to deliver their speeches. First, let us welcome Professor Scott D. Tremaine, Chair of the Selection Committee for the Shaw Prize in Astronomy 2023, to the stage.
Matthew Bales, Duncan Lorimer, and Maura McLaughlin and their collaborators discovered the first fast radio burst and deduced many of its properties. Their discovery was met with initial skepticism in the astronomical research community, but they stood by their work. And by now, over 1,000 similar bursts have been discovered. With future discoveries, we should be able to use fast radio bursts to probe issues in fundamental physics in new ways, such as the validity of Einstein's equivalence principle, possible new forms of exotic matter, the expansion rate of the universe, the origin of intergalactic magnetic fields, and the inventory of matter in the universe.
Thank you, Professor Tremaine.
Professor Bonnie Bassler, Chair of the Selection Committee for the Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine 2023, is unable to join us tonight. However, we are fortunate to have Professor Randy Schekman to deliver a speech on her behalf.
Shaw's Prize recipient Ava Nogales, who happens to be my colleague at UC Berkeley, I'm proud to say, pioneered a special form of microscopy, cryo-electron microscopy, to visualize individual protein complexes. Shaw Prize recipient Patrick Cramer and the newly announced president of the Max Planck Society used protein crystals diffracted by X-rays and cryo-electron microscopy to determine many breathtaking structures capturing the sequential steps of gene transcription. Nogales and Cramer's landmark discoveries drove a paradigm shift in our understanding of one of life's most central processes, gene transcription, and therefore these first-rate scholars are recognized for their achievement tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Schekman.
We now invite Professor Hélène Esnault, Chair of the Selection Committee for the Shaw Prize in Mathematical Sciences, to deliver her speech.
Drinfeld invented Ducans. With them, he solved the arithmetic Langlands program over a function field in rank 2, for which he was awarded the Fields Medal in 1990. Drinfeld's work is a pillar of arithmetic geometry. His ideas permeate the whole area and are at the core of new developments. Yao developed analysis in geometric studies. The existence of Kähler-Einstein matrix led to the solution of the Calabi conjecture, for which he was awarded the Fields Medal in 1982. Yao contributed to the fusion of geometry and analysis, now known as geometric analysis. His work has had a deep and lasting impact on both mathematics and theoretical physics.
Thank you, Professor Esnault.
Tonight, Professor Gensel, Chair of the Board of Adjudicators, will be presenting the awards to the 2023 Shaw Laureates.
The Shaw Prize in Astronomy 2023 is shared equally by 3 recipients. The first share goes to Professor Matthew Bales.
We know what caused one, and that was a star called a magnetar. These are the most magnetic stars in the whole universe, and they seem to be so unstable that once every few years they have an explosion on their surface, which gives rise to not only a burst of radio waves, but also a burst of X-rays.
Professor Matthew Bales, Director of the Australian Research Council Centre for Excellence for Gravitational Wave Discovery. Congratulations, Professor Bales.
I'd like to thank the Shaw Prize Foundation and its committees for celebrating these ideals and for recognising the domain of astronomy. Back in 2001, I was fortunate enough to participate in the discovery of a lifetime. I'm grateful to my colleagues Duncan and Maura for allowing me to share in it, and also to our team members Ash and Froney. The radio bursts seem far too good to be true, a pulse 1 trillion times more luminous than anything previously known, but if authentic, one bounding with scientific potential. The day I first learnt of its luminosity, I couldn't sleep. I also owe a debt of thanks to my colleagues in the HTRU survey team that helped establish that the cosmological population was real. This prize celebrates our community's global efforts to expand our knowledge of the universe. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Bell. The second recipient of the Shaw Prize in Astronomy 2023 is Professor Duncan Lorimer.
We are looking for signals that are coming from across the universe, so fast radio bursts in our case. And so they're coming from outer space, and then they hit this dish, and then they hit one of these receivers to the side here. In particular, we use this big one here to search for fast radio bursts.
Professor Duncan Lorimer, who is currently Professor of Physics and Astronomy at West Virginia University, USA. Congratulations, Professor Lorimer.
I'm absolutely honored to be a co-recipient of this year's Shaw Prize in Astronomy. Playing a role in finding a new phenomenon has been the thrill of a lifetime, and there are many, many people to thank. Firstly, to my fellow awardees, Matthew Bales and Maura McLaughlin, from whom I've learned so much. To our co-authors on the discovery paper, Froni Crawford and Ash Narkovic, thank you for your contributions to the birth of this new field. I've been incredibly fortunate to be surrounded by supportive people my whole life, but particularly in this last 20 years, my wife Maura, both of our extended families, and our 3 sons provide a loving environment for which I am eternally thankful. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Lorimer.
The third recipient of the Shaw Prize in Astronomy 2023 is Professor Maura McLaughlin.
The original motivation for this code that we developed was to detect pulses from pulsars in other galaxies. These giant pulsing pulsars have occasional, very, very bright pulses. So you would hear boom, 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 boom.
Professor Maura McLaughlin, Eberly Distinguished Professor of Physics and Astronomy at West Virginia University, USA. Congratulations, Professor McLaughlin.
It has been an absolute whirlwind of the past 6 months, and even more so over the past few days here in Hong Kong. I am so grateful to the Shaw Prize Foundation for establishing this award, and I'm very grateful to the people who nominated us for it. It is such an honor to be here among such an accomplished group of scientists. Our prize is for a paper presenting analysis of a few milliseconds of data. But this result wouldn't have been possible without many years of effort by a lot of people. I'd like to first thank my PhD advisor, Professor Jim Cordes at Cornell University. I'd also like to thank my postdoctoral supervisor, Professor Andrew Line at the University of Manchester. And I am, of course, incredibly grateful for my husband and co-parenter and colleague and co-author and now co-Shaw Prize winner, Duncan Lorimer, for being an equal partner not only in science, but in life.
Thank you, Professor McLaughlin. Following is the Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine 2023. The first share goes to Professor Patrick Cramer.
His work in solving the structure of RNA polymerase II contributed to Roger Kornberg winning the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2006.
And these mechanistic insights are extremely important if you want to, for example, get insights that allow you to think about new therapeutic approaches.
Professor Patrick Cramer, Director at the Max Planck Institute for Multidisciplinary Sciences, Germany. Congratulations, Professor Cramer.
I can only express my deepest gratitude for receiving this outstanding award. It also gives me great pleasure that by now more than 20 members of the laboratory have left and they have continued our research efforts all over the world in their independent groups. Let us never forget how science can serve humankind, how it can build bridges, and how it can unite us across space and time. Many thanks for being such wonderful hosts tonight. Thank you all the best for the future.
Thank you, Professor Cramer. The other recipient of the Shaw Prize in Life Science and Medicine 2023 is Professor Eva Nogales.
The tricky part when studying biological samples are how to obtain them, how to prepare them, how to arrange them, so that then you can take images of them that are meaningful, that are going to have important mechanistic information.
Professor Eva Nogales, Distinguished Professor of Biochemistry, Biophysics, and Structural Biology at the University of California, Berkeley, USA. Congratulations, Professor Nogales.
It is a real privilege to be part of the scientific community and to have a profession that allows you to keep learning every day and to push the frontiers of knowledge in the company of peers, mentors, and mentees that are a constant inspiration. And while science can be a challenge, facing the unknown and attempting to what is barely feasible, all that pales in comparison to the thrill of the questions to be asked, of seeing them answer one day, so that you can keep on formulating new ones and continue on this quest. Any scientific achievement builds on the efforts of many others before us, like mine have done. And I am proud that my lab over the years have made contributions that now others can build upon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Eva Nogales. Now comes the Shaw Prize in Mathematical Sciences 2023. The first share goes to Professor Valdimir Drinfeld.
In mathematics, something can be completely understood. In real life, there is nothing that we can understand completely, even when we think that we can. In mathematics, there are many mysteries, but once a theorem is proved, it is proved, and we know that it's true.
Professor Valdimir Drinfeld, Harry Pratt Justin, Distinguished Service Professor at the University of Chicago, USA. Congratulations, Professor Drinfeld.
I am grateful for the support the Shaw Prize Foundation provides for the development of science. I am deeply indebted to my teachers. It was my father who demonstrated the beauty of mathematics to me. At Moscow University, I was a student of Professor Manin and Professor Petetsky-Shapiro, and I was mentored by David Kazhdan. Later, I learned a lot from Alexander Belinson, Dennis Gatesbury, and other mathematicians, many of whom are much younger than me. I work at the University of Chicago. Before that, I worked at the Institute of Low Temperatures in Kharkiv, Ukraine. I'm grateful to both institutions for providing a friendly atmosphere. Last but not least, I'm grateful to my wife, Tanya, my son, Andrei, and his wife, Xiao Jing, for their love and support.
Thank you, Professor Valdimir Drinfeld.
The other recipient of the Shaw Prize in Mathematical Sciences 2023 is Professor Shing-Tung Yao.
Yao was born in Shantou, China in 1949, and he was raised in Hong Kong. After middle school, Yao majored in math at Chinese University, and then he went to the US for graduate study at the University of California, Berkeley.
Very stimulating to know that a Chinese mathematician Chen could be a very prominent figure in mathematics community. That was an encouragement for me.
Professor Shing-Tung Yao, Chair Professor at Tsinghua University, PRC. Congratulations, Professor Yao.
I'm honored to be awarded the Shaw Prize. I grew up in Hong Kong and knew Mr. Run Shaw and his wife well. I have to say that I'm very grateful to the city of Hong Kong and the citizens of Hong Kong who nurtured me when I was very young to be a mature scientist. So I'm confident that the Shaw Foundation will make a major contribution in this regard, that to promote Eastern and Western culture civilization together. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Yao. Tonight is a truly exceptional occasion as we witness the gathering of more than 30 Shaw laureates and adjudicators in Hong Kong.
This photo beautifully captures the 20-year journey of the Shaw Prize. Thank you once again for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you next year as we continue to celebrate the remarkable achievements of distinguished scientists and scholars.
Thank you and goodbye.